We will now explore the concepts of engineering by designing virtual airplanes. We will need a test pilot. Hey, you can be our test pilot. First, you need to learn how to fly an airplane. Let's begin with setting up a flight. It's important to ensure easy, clear flying conditions for our first takeoff. You will be flying a great aircraft at a great location.
Okay, let's do it. Click on Settings, then Quick Flight Setup. Double-click on Innsbruck Airport and select Runway 8.
Now let's choose our aircraft. Click Open Aircraft. Select General Aviation. Double-click Cessna 172 SP. And then Cessna 172 SP.ACF. This may take a little bit to load.
We'll set weather to clear and visibility to unlimited by clicking on CAV OK in the bottom left corner.
Temperature should be set to 50 degrees Fahrenheit and barometric pressure to 29.92 inches of mercury.
Now let's learn about the different instruments on the airplane.
This is the airspeed indicator, which displays how fast the airplane is moving relative to the surrounding air.
The attitude indicator, also known as the artificial horizon indicator, shows the attitude of the airplane relative to the horizon.
Next is the altimeter. This shows how high the airplane is above sea level. The small hand represents thousands, and the large hand represents hundreds.
Then we have the turn indicator, which indicates the rate and direction of the turn.
The heading indicator shows us the heading of the airplane relative to geographical north, while the compass tells us the heading of the airplane relative to magnetic north.
Finally, we have the vertical speed indicator, which tells us if the aircraft is climbing or descending, and the tachometer, which tells us the number of times the engine turns per minute. This indicates the power of the engine.
Alright, now I think we're ready to take off. First, we must press P to pause the simulator, so we can ready the plane without it moving.
Now we release the brakes by clicking the red brake light, and we push the throttle in all the way by using the mouse.
In order to control the plane, click the center of the screen and a set of crosshairs and a white box will appear. We have to make sure and keep our mouse in this box after we unpause the game. The closer we keep to the crosshairs, the smoother our flight will go. However, when we start taking off, it is important to keep the pointer to the right of the crosshairs, as the plane will want to drift left on the runway.
We can now press P to unpause the game and begin down the runway. As we taxi down the runway, we need to slowly bring the mouse back to the center of the crosshairs. Once we reach 75 knots, shown on the airspeed indicator, we move the pointer downwards to begin taking off.
We can see the plane is increasing in speed on the airspeed indicator.
Now that the plane is approaching 80 knots, we can begin to see it take off.
Excellent! Now we're flying. Once we are in the air, we can play around with the cameras to see the different views X-Plane offers. First, we need to pause.
Pressing E cycles clockwise through the views out the plane. The little orange plane and triangle show us which way we are looking out of the airplane.
Pressing Q cycles counterclockwise through views at the plane.
Pressing A allows us to follow behind the plane. Pressing Q or E in this view allows us to circle around the plane, counterclockwise and clockwise respectively.
To return to our normal cockpit view, we press W.
Now let's take a second look at our instruments.
Look at our airspeed indicator. It is around 100 knots per hour. A knot is just a fat mile. The attitude indicator is a little more blue than brown, meaning we are climbing. The altimeter's little hand is at 2, and big hand is around 0, showing we are about 2,000 feet above sea level, not above ground. This is an important concept that we will get back to later.